Hey friends out there, Rob here. Today I want to talk to you about a really cool product that helps you be more productive, a very powerful tool for your live stream process. Today we're talking about YoloDeck. I got one here to check out with you, and if you saw one of my recent videos, I've been talking about how YoloDeck and YoloBox Ultra work great together. Now, a couple of notes. We're going to talk about the unboxing. We're going to talk a little bit about which YoloBox products work with YoloDeck currently, what's coming in the future. But most importantly, I'm going to give you a hands-on of this awesome device down here, and I'm going to share with you exactly what comes in the box, how it works, and how you set it up. So let's talk about that first. Now, when you look at YoloDeck, just like anything YoloLive does as a company, Frank and Jenny and those guys over there, the entire team, they just put together a very premium product in the first place. So you get this nice box that it comes in, not a lot of frills. On the inside, everything that you need to include welcome to the team, specifically to the Facebook group, real quick user guide, and then you get YoloDeck on the inside. Comes in this nice foam package. So it ships easily, and inside of this box you're going to get a USB cord with USB-C on one end and USB type A on the other, as well as a nice stand. Those things are all what you get on the inside. The stand is very helpful because you're going to use it, well, to hold YoloDeck wherever you want to put it. For me, when I think about YoloDeck, it's a small device just like this, fits in the palm of your hand. We've got 15 keys that are backlit LCD keys or LED keys. I don't know which. These are soft touch, so they don't make any noise when you press them, which is really nice. Turn it around on the opposite side. This unit itself happens to have the little rubber stickies on the back so that the feet will let it not slip and slide on the deck. But I find that when you use it, it works really great just to use it with the stand that it comes with. Multiple angles, multiple adjustments. The nice part about this is it requires no batteries. In just a moment, we're going to plug it in using the USB-C straight to YoloBox Ultra, and you'll see it just powers up just like that. We'll do that in a second. A couple other things I want to talk about right now. Currently, as of, what is this, July 15th, 2024, as of right now, the only product that works with YoloDeck is, of course, YoloBox Ultra. Many of you will think of that and maybe be upset, but I want to reassure you. I've talked to Jenny and Frank, and both of them say they're coming with YoloBox Pro support and possibly some other ones. But I do know that YoloBox Pro will be supported here very shortly. And right now it is working with YoloBox Ultra. So that's what we're going to look at. So let's turn our attention right on down here. So this is that little stand we were talking about just a minute ago. Now I've got these things taped down to my desk or my subwoofer right here so that it won't go anywhere. But you can see this stand is real nice and it's got multiple angles. It holds everything very well, and it also has little rubberized feet on the bottom of it, just like that. To get YoloBox working with YoloDeck, you simply plug in the YoloDeck with the USB-C, and then we plug in YoloBox to the USB. Once you do, you notice YoloDeck just lights right up. It's ready to go. Now, I want to show you something cool. Everything that you see monitored on YoloDeck is actually presented on YoloBox, which is, if you ask me, is pretty cool. That means that all of our overlays, 15 panels right here, 15 different choices, directly mirror what we see on the screen here. These will change, the keys, that is, will change, the LCD keys will change as you switch back and forth from your different banks of keys that you've got set. I also want to bring your attention to whatever is backlit in red is currently active. So right now, overlay 4 and overlay 1 are active. Well, if we were to look at YoloBox Ultra, we would see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 overlays that could be active up here, and I could have all 8 overlays up here if I chose. I'll show you that in a moment. But what I'm trying to show you right now is that number 4 is active, and if we want to get rid of number 4, we just tap it. Now number 4 is no longer highlighted and my overlay 4 is gone. But at the same time, we've got overlay number 1 active. If you see up here, this is overlay 1 and it's active. It's my glitch title screen that I use kind of like to show things like, oh, I don't know, my splash screen with my title right there. Now when we come back over here, we can turn both of those off, and now we're at the regular main screen. Okay, so as we're still on this front, these are just defaults. YoloLive, the company, has put these in here to make it easy for you to get started, but I'll share with you everything you need to know about customizing this right on your own. But before we go into the customization, I want to show you a little bit more about how these work. When we look over here in our video panel, our source panel. We've got HDMI 1, HDMI 2, local video 1, local video 2, and of course, you know, I could add a different source of video. I could do 2-up displays, things like that. I could do all kinds of stuff. Anything that I add in the video sources will pop up, of course, with the video sources here, and then be accessible through YoloDeck over here. Of course, you can tap to change between one or the other just as easily as you can on YoloDeck, and it switches. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit larger so that you can see. When we switch between our sources, it just switches just as easily as you can see right there. I also want to minimize this so I can show you everything that's reflected here is actually just a mirror of whatever YoloBox is doing. So this truly is a slave device compared to the master device. It just shows you what YoloBox Ultra is doing. So in this instance, if we wanted to add, like I said, that overlay 1, which is a glitch overlay, and then we wanted to add my title on top of it, we could add both of those things, and you would see they would pop up just like that. If I wanted to turn them off, boom, I could turn them both off, and there we go. Now, if you want to turn them on at the same time, you have to press them one in rapid succession just over the other. Now, my glitch title screen pops on and off immediately, as you can see, but my overlay actually fades in and fades out. Now, this has to do with the settings of both of those separate devices, or both of those separate titles or overlays, but in this instance, that's what you're seeing. So if you wanted to adjust the settings on how things would change, your overlays, your switching, your titles and stuff, you'd come over here into your settings panel and go to your switching control, and you would choose all kinds of things. Local video switching, frame reserve, all that stuff would be accessible right there. Okay, let's come back over here to our panel so that we can see it. Now that we've looked at sources, I want to show you how we would switch through our sources just so that you can have another little fun look at it. So there we go with source number 1. Source number 2 is my detail shot in this instant. Look at that. You like that, don't you? Source number 3 is a video. Remember, I had one of my HD videos playing locally. This is nice because it's playing right now. And source number 4 is also another video. Notice I'm showing you 2 different types of videos right now. I'm showing you this because I really want you to see how powerful of a tool this is for content creation. Yes, YoloDeck is a peripheral device, so it adds functionality to YoloBox. But the most important part about what it does is it makes your workflow easy. You can load media and different content into here, and then you're able to actually choose that content, how it plays, from a physical desk from pushing a button. And the button is responsive, so you can very easily see what's actually playing based on what you're doing, which I think is really cool. Now, this popped up because it felt me. Move some stuff around. We can actually come back here and move over to, we have some overlays. Now, this overlay right here would be overlay number 6. Notice on my panel, I don't have an overlay number 6. And I think that it's important because currently the video that's playing is one where I'm teaching people how to play Devil Wears a Suit and Tie, right? So I want people to see how to play this song, and I also want to show them the chords. So let's say I wanted to actually add that overlay number 6. Oh, in this instance, maybe I'll do overlay number 7 as one of my overlays here. Well, it's real simple. Let's come on over to Settings. When we come into Settings, we now scroll all the way down and go to YoloDeck Configuration. Now, you'll see everything that we see here on YoloDeck is actually mirrored over here on YoloBox. YoloBox is showing us exactly the layout that we're going to have set for YoloDeck. The nice part is about this, in my testing, works even when you don't have YoloDeck connected, which means you can configure a YoloDeck without connecting it prior to a show beginning so that you can then connect it and it will already be pre-programmed, which is really cool. Let's give a walk around this menu screen real quick. Everything from the get-go is really already open so that you can see all the stuff that you can do. So I'm going to go ahead and close down all of your selection and your sources so that we can kind of see. You got like 60, I haven't counted them, but you got so many different choices for things that you can do, and they're all right over here. So this is where you're going to choose your functions. Here's where you're going to put your functions, and you can have multiple different menus to choose from. You can add additional menus, and you can delete additional menus as well. These banks of menus are very powerful because they allow you to have configurations that work in a specific order. So if you needed to have YoloDeck working in succession where you wanted it underneath your fingers like a gaming mouse or something like that, you could very easily have it set up to a specific configuration, and then you could have it on your desk so that your fingers just knew exactly where they wanted to go based on how you had it set up. But let's talk about that default configuration. The first thing I want to talk about is we were trying to add an overlay. So I want to show you how easy that is. We've got this second row right here, which are all overlays. And if I want to add an overlay, I simply come over here to overlays, scroll down, and I said I think I wanted to add number 7. I come over here and I tap it. It's going to say to me, are you sure you want to replace this action? And I say yes. Boom. We've got that one already replaced. And there it is. Now, over here, I've had a pop-up. Just pull out of that, save this, and come back. Okay, that pop-up currently seems to pop up for me. I don't know if it's just my pre-release firmware that I'm testing for you guys, or if it's something to do with YoloBox. However, like I said, this is July 15th, so check it out and see what you got. But now we know that we actually have overlay 5 isn't necessarily number 5. We're going to come over here, and we're going to choose, once again, that overlay number 7. Tap, hold, confirm, boom, save. And we move out. Now, what I want to share with you is what has happened with that overlay 5. Notice it now says overlay 7. Very cool, right? So I'm going to come back here to somewhere close to the beginning of Devil Wears a Suit and Tie, my tutorial. I want to come into a spot before I started adding and let's see what we've got. It looks like we've got an overlay on it right now already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I chose 7. I was wrong. That's okay. It's as simple as coming back over here to settings. 7 was the wrong overlay. I should have chose 6. So we come back up here to overlays. We open up an overlay panel, choose 6, pull it over here, select confirm. This switches to 6. We're going to save. This now switches to 6, and now we can come back over here. So now we're on our show, and if we want to add overlay 6, boom, now you see the overlay that I want to add pop up right there. So as I'm working in this, actually I have overlays on this already, but as I'm working, you can see I can very easily tap different overlays, and the overlays will work in the order for which you give them. Let's see. Maybe I don't have an overlay on one. Yeah, those overlays are underneath the other ones. Let's come over here back to my regular source and see where 1 is. There's my 1, there's my 2, there's my 3, and they will stack like I was saying in the order. So those other ones were already hidden underneath the previous order. Let's talk about some other things that we can do. As we're over here, it's real simple, but it's a lot of fun to come in and create custom configurations. Now that we see all these things, I want to kind of go through some of them on my menu 3. I've gone to menu 3 over here. We can actually move to menu 3. We don't see anything on menu 3, so you see exactly what we've got. I want to go ahead and say that I want to choose my source. Nope. Okay, back over to menu 3. I want to choose my source as source number 1, but I'm going to take my sources and I'm going to move them down on the left side for me. So now I've got my sources, and as I have my sources, I also want to take my PDF or function, and I want to take that to my next page and my, last page. Okay, so I can add that. Now I want to come over here into function, and I want to add program max. Okay, and now I want to switch to add my record button. Okay, and I want to also add, where's my live stream button? Oh, there it is, live streaming. Yeah, I want to go live with my pause or program out. Bingo. So I got record, go live, source 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to come over here and add overlays. Since you know I like my overlays, I'm going to get my 1, which is my glitch overlay. And then I'm also going to get number 2, which I always like to have as my name. And then I'm going to take 3. I'm going to take 4 and 5 because those are overlays that I have that actually change for transitions. They're titles. And then I'm going to come over here and I got one more to grab, and that's going to be my comment tab. I'm going to bring up my comment tab so when I'm live so I can feature the comment. Okay, I'm going to click save, and boom, everything updates right here. Okay, so now that we're on this, you can see this exact configuration matches this configuration, and currently source 1 is active. So now that we've done that, I've got my third configuration set. I come over here, I've jumped out of YoloBox configuration, so I bring up my menu, and now it's time to actually show you how we would put that together. So if this was an introduction for a video, this is how I would do it. Recognizing that my glitch title, which over here, of course, is this one, does not have any audio on it, but knowing that if I was playing, I would actually add some background music just through, well, my any device that I was using, usually the Tascam Portacapture X8 or my Model 12, whatever I was using as an audio interface, I would just send some audio. Most of the time it's the Rodecaster Pro. So if I'm at the desk using it in this setup, like a studio setup, I have my audio running through the Rodecaster Pro, the Rodecaster Pro running into YoloBox through the line-in input, and then I'll be managing my audio through that. But that notwithstanding, what would happen would be this. We'd start off with something like this. Background music cues, then a title will play, and then you'll hear me come in. Welcome guys to another video. Today we're talking about YoloBox and the YoloDeck. I would go ahead and give you some discussion points, and then as I was going through the discussion points and bringing down my music, I would start with the next part that I'm going to talk about and a title. And when that part was ready, I'd bring the title off and I would continue. Next thing I would do is I would then switch. Now, you wouldn't see me switching. I'm showing you right now. But I would then switch back and forth between the different angles while we were discussing. And I might even go into a main video segment that was already pre-recorded, specifically if I was doing some kind of newscast or something like that. Now you can see how this pre-recorded segment is working, and when it was all said and done, I'd come back to my main segment, and then from that main segment, I'd have another title card. From that title card, I would have a final segment like you see right here, and then from that final segment, I would come out and I would give you one of those peace outs like this. And as I did it, I would hit the overlay, and I would give you some kind of screen. Maybe it was a glitch screen with Robert Hand Photography, something like that. So, there you have it. When we look at YoloBox Ultra and YoloDeck, we see that there is quite a bit of power that comes between these two devices. There's not anything else to configure. It really is as simple as plug and play. So, my final takeaway for you is, with YoloDeck, it allows you to more efficiently work whatever type of content you're trying to create. So once you plug it in, no batteries required, runs off of USB power straight from YoloBox, and it comes with like a 6 or an 8 foot long USB cord. I didn't measure it, but it's really long. It works extremely well as any companion to a desktop or studio workflow, specifically with a production engineer in mind, where someone might be behind the camera and YoloBox giving direction or acting as a production manager for a podcast or something like that. Or if you're in front of the camera and you're performing your own podcast stuff, it acts as the assistant that would help you switch because it's so simple to set up and configure. On location, a little bit more tricky to use because you have to find a way to mount it to your camera, but by mounting it somewhere, and I'm sure YC Onion or another company will come up with a cage that allows it to easily mount, just like the one I use with YoloBox Ultra and YoloBox Pro. Once it gets on the device, you then have a full-featured production setup that can go anywhere, doesn't require any extra power, and really makes what you're doing easy and efficient. Guys, I absolutely love YoloDeck. I think it's a great addition to the team, and I'm glad that I've got it here. I want to thank you so much for watching. Let you know if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. If you have liked this content, maybe I've earned a subscription over on my YouTube page. What do you think? A cup of coffee? Maybe get yours through my Amazon link. Any of those things would be helpful, and it'd be you supporting the channel. I want to thank you so much for watching and remind you I'll catch you on the flip side.